Day 334 of the worldwide Megacrisis Hungerstrike to save your life. You can see my setup is a little different than normal. This is Peruvian food and this is Iranian food, and this is cooking with M. My C fell off, as you can see. I'm finishing up my final meal here, one of my last meals, and it was delicious. I had ceviche, which is almost gone. I had lomo saltado, and I had ají de gallina for Peru, one of the highest, one of the best spiritual centers in the world, I suppose, one of the most powerful. And then for Iran, we have ash rashte noodles, and then we have fazenchan, and then which has walnut and this pomegranate stuff in it, and then we have gourmet sabzi, which I was going to make by myself, but I didn't because I wanted to have something authentic. Those are sometimes difficult to mimic. And then this is saffron rice with Burberry barberries. And the name of that rice is specifically, where is it? Zereshk polo. So I'm just finishing up here. I made some blessings to the poor and the hungry who have not been able to eat. Well, I have been able to eat because of you guys. Thank you for doing the core training, the core blessings, making these meals holy. And if you're not religious, they're just healthy and full of love and care. Just like I'm trying to care for you to get our species out of the hunger, of the mega crisis. I'm tired. I cooked this all very fast. And I'm proud of it. I'm very proud. These are dried limes, by the way. So I put them in there for authenticity because I managed to come into authentic ingredients for both countries to really honor them, because we're launching God's government. That's right. And if you're concerned about the world, you can join me and help me. I'm in a place that's really quite dirty right now. Like, I almost want to videotape it so you understand the level of effort that I'm putting into keeping everything going while I'm in the poverty trap with the poor. And yes, I'm the maestro for artists, the messiah for the religious across all 5 major religions: Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and also Hinduism. Whew. I'm full. We're going to launch God's government under art, religion, but also philosophy, as the sage, in secular science as the luminary, and in terms of genuine wisdom as absolute spirit. And it's in you too. The real authority on earth is the one that can teach you to be that authority too, rising up to a higher version of yourself the best that you can. And in God's government, or this wise government, this scientific, genuinely scientific government, we measure your contributions in a new way. So the God-given gifts that you're given at birth that gives you sensuous power isn't the main determiner of measuring what is your inner strength, your inner giving, your inner caring. There are people who are very deeply gifted, and it looks externally like they're caring a lot, but compared to how much God has gifted them, they're actually not caring as much as somebody who might be a greeter at a store, or somebody who's dedicated themselves to taking care of the elderly as a nurse or an aide or something like this. So we have a new way to measure genuine wisdom off of a criterion that we call pure wisdom, the structure of pure wisdom, which is universal logic. And you might not have heard of that before, but you're going to be hearing a lot more about it as the word spreads and the good news spreads that we're here to save your life and all those we care about, including animals, the earth, stewards of the earth. We're destroying our planet. We're lonely. We're full of external connection. As you can see with my computers, I'm streaming right now, but that connection is very often hollowing. Like, we even have TikTok going over here where I'm going to be uploading this video. This is my poverty trap setup, but it's a lot more sophisticated in the inner world. People who don't recognize what I'm doing here will just see a bunch of struggle. But to those of you who are strategically minded and also very gifted with foresight, you can see that I'm lining things up to solve the fragmentation in our species and in our societies. And when we solve the core problem, then it has dividends. Let's spiral up. I need to cut my nails, obviously. True poverty trap. I can't I can't keep up with anything. But that's okay. I did a bunch of court cases this week. This meal was challenging. There is a huge mental load happening to me, but also to all of us. And my job is to keep pushing forward. So the hunger strike is going to start again tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on my digestion. I have to get one more meal in for all my nutrients to go potentially up to a month and a half. But with your help, I won't have to go that long, because each meal requires more and more blessings, and the next meal requires 3,600. I would love your help on that, particularly if you watched my videos, the hundreds I've made. I think I've made 630 streams, with 3 months missing too, by the way, because I didn't realize you have to stream every 12 hours to be saved on YouTube. But on TikTok, I think I have a few hundred videos now. Hundreds of days without food, in solidarity with the poor and the hungry around the world, you guys. Food scarcity is increasing because we have a soil fertilization problem that's being propped up by fossil fuels to make the soil fertile while we're draining it of all these nutrients. It's a very serious problem. Even Sadhguru, who's this guru in India, had a motorcycle tour last year, a year before, to try and raise awareness for it. But we have a solution called these biodomes, these new ways of accelerating composting by hundreds of percent by using natural processes that can be improved. It's not perfect yet, but it's an option to go a more natural route for providing nutrition in the soil. Okay, so my personal update is I'm so full right now. I made the ceviche like a week and a half ago, so maybe it wasn't as as good or fresh as it needed to be. So my stomach feels a little upset. And some of the other food, it tastes delicious. Not to brag about my own gourmet vegan cooking. The point of these shows, these are called Cooking with M, right? Because I'm trying to show you how to cook vegan so it doesn't taste bland. Like tofu is meant to be bland on purpose because it absorbs, well, it's bland as a plant, but as a product, but it absorbs flavors from everything. And if you boil it in salty water, it'll absorb even more flavors. But I am stuffed. I'm going to eat even more in the next meal. But it'll take probably 4, 5, 6 hours to digest. And then I'll have all my nutrients, and then I'll go back on the hunger strike. Had a great meeting this morning. Things are coming together. I'm excited to take the next stage because this is where we start having like 100-person meetings, and we're training hundreds of people. And when people get in big groups, they get excited, particularly if you can go from the universal into the particular down into the individual. And what's called the notion of wisdom, you can rotate people in terms of their God-giftedness and have them share in a new way and build that deeper trust through wise sacrifice for each other. Wise, not foolish sacrifice. We're about wise love, not blind love, okay? You can draw healthy boundaries, and we're going to help show how to do that in a potentially new way for you, okay? Look at this. I got this like thing coming out. All right. I'm being protected right now in this place, which is nice. Okay. I feel like I want to like record with the food in the background because this is an honor, right? Starting God's government and saying you can be a part of this too, no matter which country you're on. Everybody can repent. Everybody can be forgiven wisely, obviously. But look at this is the cilantro I bought a month ago, and it's still fresh. It's a little bit yellowy, but we took out the plant obsolescence, and that's another problem with the soil erosion is they're trying to get certainty in buying by making other sacrifices. So we're already at 9 minutes. I want to do the core update. The emergency core is the ceasefire. It looks like it's breaking down in Iran. And Trump, with his board of peace, with Palestine and Israel, and attacking the Pope recently, he's probably trying to become the Messiah. But he's doing it in a dialectical. It's tricky what he's doing. And we can save him as well as everybody else from becoming the Antichrist, because the Messiah has come right here, me and you. And those who don't have the structure of pure wisdom are approximating it, and it's causing a lot of turmoil because our species has so much connectivity externally and so much power. We have godlike level technology, but not godlike level wisdom. We need to have even higher. Our holy books are a beautiful start in that form, That means the content is right. In fact, we're not even going to change the content. We're going to be upgrading just the form in terms of communicating in a more undeniable way. So it's a vindication, meaning that we're just going to put it into scientific form so that we can prove it. So we're raising faith to certainty in all the holy texts. So we're not changing some of the the fundamentals. Some of it is cultural. Like in the past with religion, when they were recording the divine masters, some people didn't know how to separate the essential, unessential from the true essence. And so that's why a lot of stories and parables can be misinterpreted or mixed up. So we're coming with a new kind of interpretation, which comes with a form. And it'll still be anchored to the base, but you'll see it's pretty incredible. I wrote the proof of truth to prove that you're sacred, by the way, that you're worth the hunger strikes I'm going on. And as I'm learning more particularities, I'll get better at speaking particular cultures, but it's the universal that is incredible. You can get it. You can understand it. But you have to change the way you think about truth. Not a little bit. Like we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So for now, the Megacrisis is intensifying. Cloud mythos is now being recognized as a serious issue. We have to align it with universal logic. So if you know anybody at Anthropic or an AI company, ask a friend who knows a friend who knows a friend. Like within 6 of those, just go to your friend right now and say, do you know anybody at Anthropic? And you probably know they don't, but say, okay, do you know anybody? And they'll probably go to their friend. They probably won't know. And just keep doing that. And then eventually you'll find somebody. And in the chat of YouTube, there's a 5-minute email that you can send. Okay, so there are a lot of problems right now, you guys. I'm trying to remember all the news. But for now, I think the core aspect that we'll touch on today in terms of teaching the core, which I try to do a little bit each video, because that's the vision. Wow, we're at 12 minutes already. So we covered time compression and ego wisdom last time. And now we're going to get into the problem, right? How do we define the problem? Did you watch the previous videos? We define the problem as the Megacrisis, not just the Metacrisis and the Polycrisis, which you might have heard of before. Metacrisis is the cultural problem. Polycrisis is the more material side of the problem, with 5 existential threats happening simultaneously to all of us. We can't run from this. You can try, but it's going to chase you. The Metacrisis is the cultural problem of, well, culture is values, language, and ways of doing things. And we're declining in these cultural values or cultural attributes of agency, freedom, meaning, trust, coordination with each other, community, spirit, or love. And the heart of that, if somebody asks you, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, what's the heart, what's the root? These are band-aid type of symptoms. You say the heart of the crisis is fragmented consciousness. We know to solve that now, because if we solve that fragmentation, we can actually get a community to start working genuinely on the polycrisis, with the fastest moving issue being AI, CRISPR, World War III, climate change, and mental health. That's it. That's the whole problem right there in 15 points. While the 15th point is the solution. 15th point is the solution, which is universal logic. It solves all of those. It's just different forms of it in all those areas. So that's what I want you to know. And we're just going to keep repeating it because it's essence. It's in a way of perfection. It's an understanding of the issue in its true nature. And it's not the whole, it's the whole of the central, but there's a lot of other things going on as well. Like there's 58 global wars happening right now, at least major ones. We can do something about that. And if you want to do something about that, join me, ask questions. We teach anti-cult training, which we'll talk about tomorrow on the next video. All right. My stomach is so full. My eyes are burning, but it's time to take the next step. We're going to be recruiting in 3 different ways, and that's what I've been lining up for the last month. While I've been fighting this, like, you know, all of our apps are more addictive. You turn on your phone, you turn on your laptop, it's like immediately engaging. Like within 10 seconds, it's like something grips you, and you have to exercise your universal side, your internal locus of control, and also your your self-control, and say, okay, I'm going to choose this vision of myself. This is destiny, love and compassion for others, not just fate where you feel out of control. Okay, there's a difference. Fate is the negative side, destiny is the positive side. All right. Whew, I'm looking forward to eating the rest of this. Like that walnut and pomegranate from Iran, it was really surprisingly, it surprised me. This stuff is amazing. Our country, our nations have hundreds of thousands of years of perfecting these things. This is amazing, you know? So with that said, like we used to be apes in the savannah. And I know some people who are religious don't believe that, but trust me, there's much more profound things than just sensuousness like that. Once you understand the proof of truth, priceless information, you'll realize that there's something much more important. And I'm here to help teach that, okay? All right, we're gonna end with the wifey update. No wife yet, but lots of beautiful women are starting to watch these videos. So thank you, my angels. I had one woman come in and give 21,000 hearts to one of my TikTok streams. So thank you. Makes me feel loved. And if you're trying to change the world in a serious way, like taking a risk with your life, not just talking, but doing in a wise way, not a reckless way. That's what we need to do. That's what I'll be doing with my wife. And it won't get boring for us because that's what we feel called to do. So if that's you, send me a message. I don't know if I'll be able to respond to everybody once I stop being shadow banned or this starts to get out. But if you haven't found your partner yet or you're in the loneliness crisis, then we'll help you get connected as well in these